Keble's now so much part of the Oxford landscape that it's quite hard to imagine just how controversial, just how striking it would have seemed when it was first built in the 1870s. This was a great monument to the Gothic revival, a great monument to that 19th century moment of neo-medievalism, a building designed to evoke the attitudes, the ideals, and above all the faith of the Middle Ages. Here we are in the chapel of Keble College, what must be one of the most spectacular chapels in the whole of Oxford. Indeed, it's more like a cathedral than it is like a college chapel. And that was exactly the idea. This was intended to be a place that sent out hundreds, maybe thousands of parish priests to reconvert England. This was a place that was the product of the Oxford movement, or sometimes known as the Tractarians, a group of Oxford academics and priests in the Church of England who wanted to undo the effects of the Reformation and return the Protestant Church of England to many of the ideas and ideals of the medieval church. And its architect, William Butterfield, was a committed Tractarian himself. Here, he said, he was trying to make visible the dogmas and creeds of the Catholic Church, not the Roman Catholic Church, but a Catholic Church that they believed the Church of England to have been part of, to still be part of, but a Catholic Church which had lost something at the Reformation. The thing that shocked most people at the opening of Keble was what it was made out of. Here it was, brick. Brick seemed totally foreign to Oxford, and yet Butterfield chose it, and he chose it for two very good reasons. Firstly, it was cheaper than stone. This was a college being built on the cheap so that it could offer the most inexpensive education possible. So brick it was. But Butterfield had a more profound and more important reason for choosing brick over stone. It was one of the fundamental principles of the Gothic revival that a building should be honest, should be truthful. In that sense, the Gothic revival confused or conflated ethics and aesthetics. Here was a way of having ornamentation that grew out of the building itself. It wasn't applied, this wasn't decoration that was stuck on. Rather, in this brick, in this multicoloured brick, in this structural polychromy as it was called, what you got was a building which ornamented itself. This then wasn't just meant to be beautiful, it was also meant to be true. At the time, it was so hated that the neighbouring students at St John's founded the Destroy Keble Society, with the object of removing one brick at a time until there was no college left at all. Here in the hall we can see the ambition of the founders of Keble, who started out in 1870 with only 30 students, but were obviously anticipating a much bigger and more impressive establishment in the end. The hall also tells us something about the idea of the college they were hoping to found. At other colleges, other more aristocratic and exclusive colleges, most of the students ate in their own rooms. Most of them ran up huge bills and even larger debts as they lived the life of the idle rich. Keble was going to be different. Everyone was going to eat here. Everyone was going to pay low fees. Everyone, almost anyone, who could afford to come here would be welcome here, indeed would be required to dine here. This then was not just a Tractarian institution. In very odd ways, it was a more democratic institution than most of the other colleges. This hall was a sign of ambition. It was also a signal for reform. Because this was a college intended to be open to even the poorest man. This was designed to be inexpensive education, education for the self-improving Jude the Obscures who wanted to be high Anglican priests but could not afford to attend the other, more expensive, more aristocratic and exclusive colleges. This then is a college that looks back to the medieval past, which is rooted in the 19th century present, and which also gives us a sense of what the university is going to become in the 20th century.